And hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the NJ Multispecies Podcast. I am Joe Santiago. This is my partner, Chris Pereira, and we are here today with our first episode of a brand new fishing podcast we're starting that's just for New Jersey. That's what's going to make this show different, Chris. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want everyone to know that was like the fifth take for Joe to do that intro.
It
Uh,
was. That
it,
was probably the
it wasn't
fifth
good
take.
enough. The first four times wasn't good enough. All right.
But generally, the podcast is going to revolve around all things fishing New Jersey, saltwater, freshwater. We're going to talk tournaments. We're going to talk NJ Fish and Wildlife, stocking. We're going to talk everything. We're going to talk fishing tactics. We're going to interview fishing guides. We're going to talk to party boat captains. For the first episode today, we have Eddie Mackin coming on as our guest from Lake Hopatcong Guide Service.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Anyone that knows Eddie Mackin and Lake Hopatcong just go together.
Absolutely. But the podcast itself is going to come out every week, once a week, probably for about an hour. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the state of New Jersey. We're going to give updates on tournaments, how to enter them, where they are, who won them. We'll be interviewing guys that fished in them, guys that won them. We're going to update the Skillful Angler leaderboard from NJ Fish and Wildlife weekly. Chris is going to do his best attempt to make a fishing forecast for the upcoming weekend and what he thinks the best target is. And I mean, if you're looking for a podcast and you think that I'm just going to tell you what spot to go to and what lure to use, this isn't the podcast to listen to, because that's not going to happen. It's not what this show.
I mean, let's be real clear about this, right? Like, if you're looking for someone to just tell you where to go, what to do, exactly what thing to do, like, not only is this podcast not for you, like, fishing is not for you. Like,
not at all. I agree. You're right.
Part of fishing, to some, there's many parts of fishing, and to some people, the most important part, the funnest part, is the hunt, right? Someone telling you exactly where to go, what to do, not only just eliminates that part of the puzzle, right? Not only that, it's there's no consistency to it. If you don't learn how to fish yourself, you're never gonna go anywhere. What you're told to do and you do it, it may work once or twice. I guarantee you're not going to get any consistency out of it.
And just so the record's clear for everyone, neither one of us are in any way professional fishermen. We're not.
No.
We are fairly successful fishermen.
I mean, look,
we've won awards, and we know the thing that makes me and Chris, when I met Chris, I was mainly a fly fishing river trout guy. I mean, I have a boat. I did a lot of stuff off the boat. Chris he had the nickname the Wizard of Merrill Creek. He was not really well known for jigging Merrill Creek, so he fished for lake trout. And when we became friends, it kind of like my thing, the fish I like to go for mixed with the things he likes to go for, and now we fish for everything. We basically fish for everything. Except really bass. We don't fish for largemouth bass. Other than that, we fish for everything.
I'll do everything. It may be low on the list, but I'll do it. I'll do everything.
I'll do it, but I don't usually go out of my way to do that. But I'll it is what it is. Right. I have nothing against it.
But you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, to me, one of the most important things in fishing is the variety, right? And living in New Jersey, like you really can't beat the variety. And someone listening to this may just be laughing at that statement, but I have a lot of network of anglers from all different states. I've been on, countrywide fishing websites for years and years, and I've made relationships with guys in Florida, in California, wherever, and they see the variety of fish that I'm catching, and it's always the same thing. It's like, how much are you traveling to catch all these different species of fish? Like, I'm like, dude, every fish that you're talking about is from New Jersey.
Yes. But also to that same effect, people will see pictures of us on Facebook holding a nice fish, but they didn't see the 5 times we went before that trip and froze our balls off and caught nothing. So everything on the social media appears to be a perfect world, but actually we worked very hard to get what we got. That's why I'm not just going to hand anything over, because
No, and
you have to suffer. You have to, if you want to catch nice fish and be, they say 10% of the fishermen catch 90% of the fish caught. If you want to be that 10%, you have to suffer. That's the key, in
right,
my own opinion, is suffering.
for sure. Like that statement it's just accurate. And like, if you're not part of the 10% right now, but you want to be, you need the tools, right? And hopefully, we got no
You
problem.
need the tools, and you also need your networks. Some of the best fishermen I've seen from the state, especially when you're out on the saltwater, when things are not panning out and they're not going your way. Eddie Mackin's coming on. I've done this to him 1,000 times. He'll tell you. I see people pull their phone out and they're on the phone with friends. Where are you? What are you doing? Is it good? We'll come there. You have to have that network of information. And the idea here is to try to somewhat, because New Jersey kind of has it spread all over the place. You have this Fishity app, you have YouTube, you have Facebook, njfishing.com forum is huge. All the clubs have their own Facebook. We want to bring all that right here to one spot, podcast, where we could talk about anything. Anyone who is a fisherman in New Jersey is more than welcome to come on this show and discuss anything they want to talk about.
Right.
Just drop us an email at it's njmultispecies@gmail.com. Any topic you want to talk about, you want to come on the show, anyone's more than welcome to. And we're going to check in with people from all around the state periodically through the show and keep updating what's going on with the fishing every week.
Right. I mean, we take some pride in this network of anglers that we have, right? Friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to call it. Some guys I fish with all the time. Other guys you just talk about fishing. I only fish with them a couple times a year. But it's this network of other anglers that are willing to help, right? It's not to say they're willing to tell you exactly what to do. And like I said already, like, I don't want that anyway, and you shouldn't either, right? No one should want that. If you want to be a real angler, you shouldn't want someone to just give you free, detailed information. It's not going to help you, right? But if you have this network to come back to, you can get little bits and pieces and use these tools to figure stuff out on your own, and that's gonna make you a consistent angler. And that's what you're that's got to be what you're looking for. If it's not, I don't know what to let me know what you are looking for, because I have no idea.
So let me ask you, to kick the podcast off. It's March.
Yeah.
Ice fishing season was a complete fuck up. My shelter didn't even move. So now
you told me before the show I'm not allowed to bitch and complain.
I'm not bitching and complaining. I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up for a question. I'm telling you.
You're setting me up to bitch and complain.
No, but ice fishing season was obviously a fucking bust. It's gone for everyone.
Thanks for reminding me.
Now it's March and it's like raining and it's 30, and then the next day it's 60 and it's sunny, and the next day it's 30 and raining again. So if I'm you and I want to go fishing this weekend, what am I doing? Like what would you do right now in this horrible, just disgusting bullshit?
Look, I mean, typically this time of the year, it's if you get a consistent warm up, like it's coming into spring, right? It's getting a little bit warmer every day. The sun's getting higher every day, right? There's more daylight every day. Fish like crappie, perch, pickerel, bass. I mean, you name it, almost any fish in the lake is going to be looking for that little bit warmer water. So
So you're looking for warmer water. That's what if I went out right now with my boat crappie fishing, I'm looking for the warmest spots on the lake I could find.
I'd
That's
get
what I'm doing.
warmer water. I'd look for darker bottoms, rocks, dark rocks. Get on the side of the lake that the sun is hitting the most. There's no shade, anything like that, something like that. Just it's crazy how the fish react to just a half a degree of warmer water temp this time of the year, especially.
So basically, at the current moment, I'm crappie fishing until opening day of trout season. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for trout season.
Look, like New Jersey, like we talked about the variety, the options. Like there's other stuff, like you know things like trout and the landlocked salmon and stuff. They're not as prone to shutting down and stuff if there's like a pressure change or a cold front, something like. Those are options too.
How do you usually do for lake trout in this kind of unstabilized weather pattern?
The lake trout too usually seem to me like they're just not as affected by weather changes that might negatively affect other fish.
Okay.
But I mean, that being said, it's a fish. It's fishing. There's so many variables. I've had my head spinning just trying to figure out variables sometimes. And
Always.
eventually, huh?
Always. And right now it seems like on the foggy days the crappie are going back to the deeper water, and then on the sunny days they're coming into the shallows.
Yeah,
And I'm fishing for them with a bobber on, and then if it's cloudy, I'm taking the bobber off to get the bait down a little bit.
yeah. I mean, like, look, you could go out there and you'll think you figured something out, like, oh, this color, this length from the bobber, and it might work 2 days in a row, and then the third day you're out there and you can't buy a bite, and all of a sudden you put an extra 6 inches between the bobber and the jig or the lure, and you start catching fish again. Like there's just so many variables. The best thing you can do is just get out there and you try different things. You get a starting point. You don't overthink it. Overthinking it almost never works for me. I don't know about you.
It depends.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it depends.
I mean, I like to bounce ideas off of the wall just to see if something new will stick to it. But
I get texts from this guy like with 100 different options regarding fishing, and eventually you just tell him to shut the hell up.
oh yeah, I'll put a whiteboard up and start drawing just ideas of just how to present this and that. But
You're like,
that's
you're like that you're like that meme with the woman the confused look on her face and all the trigonometry and math equations going by her head. And
no.
all you're doing is
I do that after I'm done fishing. Like you do it on the water while you're fishing. You're sitting there talking to yourself. Like, is it the cold front? And you'll
I
pull
want to be doing.
you'll you will pull an excuse. If he goes fishing and it's, whatever the conditions are, if it's a bad day of fishing, he'll come up with, oh, it was the front, it was tomorrow's going to be warm, whatever
But
he could, whatever
clear.
excuse. What?
Well, hold on. Just to be clear, it's not an excuse. It's me trying to figure out how to avoid getting bent over by Mother Nature next time I'm out there.
That's true. Let's go. I got the point across about what the podcast is about now before anyone could freak out about me being on the internet spewing out their secret honey spot or something. And let's go to our sponsor real quick. The podcast is sponsored by NJ Squatch's Wader Repair in Lake Hopatcong. If you have any hole or leak in your waders, NJ Squatch can fix them. We are now going to go to our first guest, Eddie Mackin. Okay, Chris, so our next guest is an absolute Lake Hopatcong legend. It's honestly an honor to have him on for my first episode. A lot of people have said they've seen this guy walking on water on Lake Hopatcong. Walking across water like Jesus. What's his name, Chris?
Hey, we got Ed Mackin on the show today.
Eddie Mackin. How are you, Eddie Mackin?
How are you guys?
It is an honor to have you on here with us.
I don't have the Jesus sandals like you guys think I do, but yeah.
Well, most people would disagree, Eddie, especially from your picture album.
Yeah, well, 20 years on it, you'd have a good one too, That's
so tell us, what is that? You just won a big award. We all saw you holding the big plaque on Facebook. What is that award that you won?
So that award is it's the Leo August Memorial Award. Pretty much just justifies that particular series of awards. There's 3 places. They are the most impressive catches. It gets broken down into like a percentage, like your fish's weight broken down into ounces, and they kind of like divide that into like what the club record is. It's not all of like the biggest fish in the lake. It's the knee deep club record. It's an award within the knee deep club, and it's just I had just got lucky and I caught a really big fish, and I caught a big smallmouth. I caught a 4.9 smallmouth. I caught it jerking for throwing stick baits for walleye. And the first week of April, I mean, it was just something that I wasn't ready for at 2:00 in the morning, to be honest with you.
And I've seen pictures of it. That fish has a tail on it as thick as a tuna fish.
Listen, that is like the unicorn to me in like Lake Hopatcong. If you achieving a 4-pound smallmouth in Lake Hopatcong is like a huge thing, like huge. And I can tell you, I got three in my lifetime since I've been on that lake, and I can tell you where I caught them, how I caught them, and what I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like you don't get many.
No, man, I tell you, you're right. You're spot on. Like I fish that lake a lot too, not as much as you, but you don't. If I want to fish for smallmouth bass, I'm not picking Lake Hopatcong.
No, nobody picks Lake Hopatcong. No,
not for that species. For most other species, sure. Not for smallmouth bass.
Yeah.
Now, who actually gave you that award?
So the gentleman that presented it to me was John Moran, the Knee Deep Club president.
The Knee Deep Club.
Yep, Knee Deep Club. Yep.
Okay, so if anyone listening to this that wanted to become a member of the Knee Deep Club so they could fish and enter fishing contests like this, what do they have to do?
There's a form. We're working on this, but there's a form we have kneedeepclub.org. It's been an established site since like the mid 90s. And then there's a form there, or you can go to one of the way stations, like our bait shops, and it's Dow's Boat Rental or Lake's End. There's an entry form there and a membership application. You can fill them out there or mail them in. We have it's pretty at the P.O. box, the whole 9 and everything. And then we just mail you a card, and then you're a club member. I mean, there's no you don't have to be tied in. It's not like you have to be mandatory to do certain things. There's no obligation. It's literally just support Lake Hopatcong.
Does the club have a division for kids?
Yep. it offers a senior division, for a year-long contest, and that's how that fish that we were just previously talking about is presented. The year-long contest, it's kind of fun. It's not like you go fishing a handful of times, you catch a big one, you get recognized for it. Essentially, you bring it to the weigh station, they weigh it, and that's it. They have ones for youth. That's pretty much how I got to where I am pretty much today. If anyone ever knew me, it's just that as a kid, I took it as like a personal oath to own like every single one. Like I was going for number one.
He almost does.
At one point in time, I think I did. I tried it. When I was like 15, I was relentless. I was like, I really turned it up then.
And there's no entry fee, just to be clear, there's no entry fee for that particular contest, the year-long contest.
No, that just comes with your general membership. Membership now are like $30 for an adult. I think it's like $7 or $8 for a child. We do family packages and stuff like that. I don't want to don't quote me on exact numbers right now, because we just jacked them up with just the way everything is. But yeah, no,
it's a non-profit organization.
It's a non-profit organization.
Donation.
Everything that and again, I am affiliated with I'm a director at a Knee Deep Club. So I was a past president. Did 4 years. As president. I've been a trustee since I was 18 years old.
We didn't know any of this, by the way. About the Knee Deep Club. I didn't know you were you're a head honcho. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
I had
well,
no
no.
idea.
What happens is I'm not actually. It's fun. The head honcho is a name, but what happens is once you're a president and you don't just become like a trustee, now you become like director. You know what I'm saying? So I just become like one of those guys who've like, I've done my time essentially. I ran it,
Yeah.
and then I kind of sit back and I help the president, and I also bounce ideas off, because when you go through the motions of any other thing, like a nonprofit, any club, anything like that, like you're not just like a basic guy anymore. You're not like you're there to overwatch, make sure everything goes, and make sure the ball rolls, and that's it's pretty much my part,
Now, aside from the Knee Deep Club, you work on the lake too, right?
Yes, that is a current thing that I do now.
And who do you work for?
All right, so I am we're a 3-man band on Lake Hopatcong. There's 4 guys total now, but we work for Lake Hopatcong Guide Service.
Lake Hopatcong. That's Aaron Graybill?
That's Aaron Graybill. Yep. He, Aaron, I mean, if I can get into it, Aaron and I, we touch base all through like my early teenage, late teens, early 20s. This guy would message me, "Hey, we got to fish. And I would just like blow him off like every time. Right.
Yeah.
So like one day he's like, "Hey, listen, I live here. I do this." I'm like, "All right, dude." I don't know. It was like 2017, 18, something like that. Guy, like immediately, me and this guy hit it off. And I knew like right away, because it's just different. When I fish with like a lot of people, I end up like teaching them how to fish, and like I like, not that it's like annoying, but like it doesn't, no one ever, very few times, and I'm not trying to sound cocky, but like, does anyone actually show me something, and Aaron,
on that lake, because you don't ever seem to come off that lake. You don't.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm
gross.
saying. Like, I learned from guys that were like 70 years old. They put like 50 years on it before me, and and they taught me. And then like, I'm not doing. I didn't start from scratch. I had like these literally legends. A lot of these guys aren't. They passed. I mean, they were incredible fishermen that like were just, and they took me underneath their wing at like I was a young age, and I did it. And very few people ever shined like that to me. And Aaron, and I was like, wow, this guy can fish, just straight up. This guy was showing me things that like I didn't think for a second was going to do anything. Well, then later on, he starts selling me this pipe dream about how he's going to be a guide service on the lake and everything else. And I was like, listen, buddy, I don't know what you're packing in your pipe, but I change it, kind of thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, there's no way. And then, I at the time I worked full time. And then I had a side business, a landscape business, and I was doing that like 100 miles an hour. And I was like, I'm not getting involved in anything else. Well, finally I have kids, I can't work like 2 full-time jobs. And next thing I know, I turn around and this guy's like calling me up and he's like, listen, man, I need drivers. I got a demand. I'm like, he's like, this thing took off. And I'm like, no way. And well, fast forward, I I worked with him last year, my first full year. He's been in operation now, 5 years. Lake Hopatcong Guide Service has been in operation for 5 years now.
That's awesome.
And, yeah, Aaron, like, you know, like anything else, he's had help from different marinas. I mean, he really just doubled down. I mean, like, this guy, an incredible story. This guy just like sold.
Yeah,
Like,
he did. I know.
He gave in like everything and was like,
Yeah.
and he chased a dream. And he chased a dream
Yeah,
like a young
he
family.
did.
I couldn't believe it. And like,
It sounded, the first time he told me the idea, I didn't think that it was possible, but he really built it into something. And it's unbelievable that they have pontoon boats and can take like a family of 9 out fishing at one.
It's actually a family.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, we're up to 8. But yeah, no, he's crushed it. You know, we have like 5 things that we do. You know, our big 5.
Yeah,
where
everybody.
We got
everybody can come. Yeah, the kids.
Yeah, we got the guide service. You know, we got the 3-man charters. We got the regular charters. We got the, you know, the large groups up to 8 people. You know, which is, you know, mainly because we're trying to incorporate families. You know, we could bring a family. The patio boats are super easy with the kids and everything like that. You know, they're fully customized. They're ready for, you know, they got the rods. We got it all set up for fishing. You know, and it's fun. It's accommodating. You know. And we got that. He's got the junior derby. No, excuse me, the junior derby. He does like a youth program. It's like a summer camp, and he's starting that at Horseshoe Lake, and he's been doing that with Roxbury Recreation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's something that he's sparked. You know, we did that one. Large groups. The fly fishing. That's new this year. This guy, top of my head, I think his name is Matt. He did this fly fishing and like. And that's a thing. I mean, like, I didn't know. Again,
I love fly fishing.
I'm stuck on Lake Hopatcong. You guys have to understand. Like, I don't leave.
Yeah.
Like, in my backyard. Like, I don't ever go anywhere. You know, you guys know that. You know, and and like, you know, this gentleman, he you know, and he's been fly fishing all like the northern waters all through like New Jersey, and he's been doing it for years. And that guy's like a professional. Like, he's like really good. You know,
that's cool.
And it's just gorgeous. This guy's like doing stuff. And I'm like, I you know, like one day I'm gonna have to break away and like go do something different, you know, and that looked
absolutely
really cool. Yeah, and they had that, the youth camps, the fly fishing. That.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you one more question, and then if Chris has any, and then I'll stop bothering you. But let's say somebody doesn't want to go through a guide service like you; they just want to come to Lake Hopatcong and go fishing. Where's the best place for them to go and buy bait, or ask like, what lure should I buy, or where could they go?
There's only 2 spots on Lake Hopatcong, and like one spot, number 1 overall, Dow's Boat Rental.
Dow's.
I mean, just right in Nolan's Point, 145 Nolan's Point Road. I lived there for 10 years upstairs. They're not a number 1. It's a mom and pop. You know, like they've been there since like '84. They've been on the lake since like the 70s. That location, they got rental boats, you know, small little rental boats with the 9.9 horsepower on them. They rent them out. It's like $85-$90 a day. You don't have to have anything. You know, driver's license is the only thing that's required. You know,
and she'll obviously, if you asked her what lure's hot, what are they biting on, obviously she's gonna help.
That woman is literally the nicest person on earth. Practically raised me as a child, as an adolescent, essentially. I never left there. I went there one day. I used to work in the bow shop up on Route 15, and I worked there. And then when that closed down, I went to the next best place, was the bait shop, and I just never left. Like, I fished every single day. I hung out there. Those are the most genuine people you ever meet. I mean, those people, they got the herring. They got all the bait. They're the wholesaler of the herring. They're the only people that ever do it. Herring is clutch. If you're a bait fisherman, it's awesome. They got every Rapala like known to man in there. I mean, stick bait and everything else like that. I mean, they're just openly just gonna help you try to catch fish, you know. And there's a lot of knowledge in that bait shop. A lot of knowledge.
Yeah, like, and if I could add this, like, no one's gonna give you a handout in the fishing world, right? But the closest thing you're ever gonna get to that is by going into Dow's bait shop and just talking, just having a conversation, right? They're
They
friendly.
want, like, listen, they're part of their business to make sure that you come back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I've literally gotten to this point with, like, the club meetings and the seminars and things that I've done, and just to this point, just because I'm like, I don't ever want to see those mom and pops ever go away, and like, like, I don't ever, like, and I would do anything to be like, listen, like, I will show you what you have to do. I will, like, literally, you just as an angler need to change your way, and I will literally tell you what to do, where to go. I mean, not even like spot burn, but it's, again, going out there and doing it. And I was like, and this is where you're gonna find it. This is your start. This is where you're gonna find it.
And she'll also go as far as taking a credit card number over the phone and leaving bait outside for you in an airbag. I've picked it up many times from her.
Hands down, like, I'm telling you, they're gonna go out of their way. They've been doing it since,
Yeah, they are great.
30 years, 30 plus years now. So it's like, they're they're not as spry as they used to be, but I'm telling you, they don't ever quit. They're not the quitting type.
No, if you're out night fishing on Lake Hopatcong late enough, you'll see them come around with the boat, getting the herring from the trap.
Absolutely. Yep. No, they don't quit.
It stays full. I can't remember a time that I've ever gone in there for herring and they don't have any. They're always stocked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they
there has been the
dude,
minnow.
they're the only people that actually net the herring from Lake Hopatcong serve the entire Northeast.
Right.
They're the only ones to still permitted to do that. The Lake Hopatcong herring, the forage in Lake Hopatcong, stretches as far out towards, like, Ohio, goes all the way up. Like, we supply all New York State. Like, it's nuts.
I wish we were so lucky with the minnows, with the shiners.
Oh, well.
That was a whole.
Unless Arkansas is going to start shipping them on.
That's a whole nother episode. That disaster shiner. But Eddie, truly, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, giving us all that information. Hopefully you'll be back on again, talking about something. I'm sure you're going to do some spectacular thing this year.
Well, wait, before you leave, like, what's heating up on Lake Hopatcong right now? Got to be the crappie starting.
Right now it's the spring bite, and it's been weird because, like, like, I feel like we've been forcing spring. Like, February came and, like, it's been warm, so, like, we went out and, like, we started catching fish, but it's like a trickle.
Said I'm allowed to bitch and complain that I didn't get the ice fish more than 3 days in New Jersey this year, but do it anyway. I'm gonna
listen, like, but perch, crappie. My go-to right now. I found a spot where, like, just that you find anything where there's, like, a little bit more of, like, a water temp, anything like that. And again, I don't even have my boat in right now, right? But if you can find those areas where there's a little bit more of a congregation of fish.
Yeah,
I'm not even, like, into catching the crappies and stuff right now. Right now, all I've been doing is ripping, like, big jerk baits, and I've been just, like, crushing, like, these 3-4 pound pickerel, like, on the norm, like, catching like multiple ones, man, like multiple big pickerel, and, like, not. I love ripping on big fish. They're not, like, my favorite thing to do, but, like, right now I'm catching them. They're full of shiners. These, like, the roaches and stuff like that. I'm catching them. They're just fat as can be, and there's tails sticking out of their mouths, and they're still eating. And they're still eating. It snowed 5 inches the other day at my house, and I told my kid, I was like, listen, come on, let's go. I was like, we gotta go. We gotta give. I can't. I can't sit inside all day. So I went out there. We started doing it, and we've had a good time. And I had him. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he was pictured. He had this thing, dude. The whole jacket was glossed in slime. Oh, it was so funny. It was just like a total slime. But no, we've been catching like big ones. Yeah, no, that's like my thing. That's been my go-to. Until, like, the crappies and perch really start, like, cycling. I feel like they're just there. Their presence is there because it's not it's like it's coming and going right now. It's not like that hard.
Like, these fish don't like that little temperature drop when it's supposed to be. Not that it's supposed to be warming up right now, but that's the way it went. Like, it started.
Traditionally, right now we should be, like, in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I think it's because it's been ongoing since, like, the middle of February. But this hot and cold. I think the fish have been coming, and they're not as bunched as as you would hope they are. I feel like the whole mass of these giant areas that usually end up in, like, late April I think that's where all the fish are right now in the first week of March. You know,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how pushed forward it is.
Eddie, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for
Oh,
coming
absolutely.
on.
No,
And
this
I
was
hope
fun.
you come back.
Oh, I will. You guys are good.
And good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care, man.
Yeah, see you.
You know, you're happy. You're happy to talk to Eddie Mackin. Yes. No, that's great. It really was. I mean, I just gotta say, like, I've been fishing for quite a while, not quite as long as him. All right, probably not even as long as you, but I fished Lake Hopatcong a lot, but like it does not compare to the way he fishes Lake Hopatcong. I can't even explain it. Like the things he knows about Lake Hopatcong,
He knows
it
everything.
blow your mind.
He's literally shown me where there's certain rocks underwater, like 20 feet down, that I have to use my side imaging to find, but he knows they're there. He's unbelievable.
He probably has names for each fish that lives on each particular rock. It's crazy.
And between and when you go up there and hang out with him and Graybill, especially Aaron Graybill, I mean, I've known him for years, even before Eddie Mackin. His nickname is Fish Bucket. They call him Bucket. I mean, he is just hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious and unbelievable. Another unbelievable fisherman on Lake Hopatcong. Might be like if you had to throw up a rival, someone to face Eddie Mackin, it would be Aaron Graybill, and they both work with each other. So that's just unbelievable.
Any other lake, I'll test my luck against them.
I agree. I will too. I agree. Yeah.
I'll just throw in the white towel right off the bat.
There's no chance.
And I'll tell you, like, when I'm fishing with Graybill, it's like you can, like, I know what I'm doing, right? I know how to fish Lake Hopatcong. I'm pretty good at it, I think, right? But you go fishing with him and you learn something new every time. And it's a big thing, right? Like if you're a stubborn fisherman or you think you know what you're doing and you don't want to learn something new, and you're going to get left behind every time because it's always changing. And he's out there almost every single day.
That's true too.
You can't buy that. Like he's out there every day. It's his job now. He's living that dream. And you get out there and every time I fish with him, there's something else that he brings up that just sounds crazy to me.
It does. There's always something ridiculous.
Like at this point, I know it's probably going to work.
Yeah.
Go with it. And we go from there. You just branch out and and that's how you learn and that's how you maintain consistency fishing.
Yep. I agree. I do.
And so Eddie also mentioned the year-long contest for the Knee Deep Club, and it reminded me also of the Skillful Angler program, state runs.
Skillful Angler, yeah. I love the Skillful Angler program. I think it's fantastic.
It's cool. It's a cool thing. And granted, in the past they used to get a pin. Right now they send out patches. You get like certificates and stuff. But just a lot of people listening. I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and a lot of people somehow still have no idea what this is.
They have no idea. I was actually just on my because what was it, February, the 2022 Skillful Anglers came out. So, of course, everyone was posting their certificates on Facebook because they're actually pretty cool certificates. I mean, a lot of guys say, well, what I want a certificate for? I mean, it's better than killing the fish. You take a picture with the fish, you get this awesome certificate. It has the date, the lake it was caught in. So I think the program's really cool. The one person that's the leader in that species gets a special patch that says winner. Right. And that's something we are going to update that leaderboard. And like Chris said, all it takes is a tape measure and a camera, and you let the fish go, and you could enter it. And we are going to update the leaderboard for that on this. You want me to do it now? I could do it right now if you wanted me to.
You want to get it together? I'll talk about it a little bit more while you
All right,
do
go
that.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I
so
can actually get one. I'll get one and show them.
okay. Yeah, so you got the Skillful Angler program with the state it's run by a new employee over there, Kyle, over the last couple of years, and he's really taken it by the reins, and he's improved it leaps and bounds from what it was. And a lot of us really enjoy doing this. It just adds another aspect to fishing. You can kind of compete with your friends, like
So just to show them one, this is one here, Chris. So this was just from a crappie. Actually, Chris, you were probably with me when I caught this. And you could see Lake Hopatcong. It shows the date, NJ, Fish and Wildlife. And you could get these for pretty much any species in New Jersey. And you could collect them, and every year the leaderboard restarts. And they're really cool. And there's also some other challenges involved, Chris, if you want to explain how the challenges work.
Oh yeah. So there's you've got three different kinds of slams, right? You've got the bass slam. So basically, if you catch a qualifying size largemouth and a qualifying size smallmouth during the same year, you achieve this bass slam, right? And you know, it's just an extra aspect. Like I said, you compete with your friends, like whether you think, whether you want a certificate or not, or you want a patch or not.
These are the
just
this is the species specialist for crappie. So to do this, you have to catch 5 of the same species. So I did it last year with crappie, and then like the challenge ones, one of them's master angler. Like that's what this looks like. So you get the master angler certificate, every species you caught that qualifies, and then there's even another one that's elite. I have that too, but I'm not gonna. I think you guys get the point. And the leaderboard is updated on the NJ Fish and Wildlife website, so you could always watch who's in the lead and who's catching what.
Yeah, they keep it updated probably at least once a month, I would say.
But it is catch and release. You can't kill the fish. If you kill the fish, you can't enter it. There is a weight division, but it has to be brought into a certified scale. Not too many people even enter fish in that at all. It's all catch and release division that we pay attention to.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, and you'll hear us, promote catch and release all the time, and that's not saying don't eat fish. I eat a ton of fish.
Absolutely.
I don't keep big fish. Like, there's just no point to keeping big fish. And you could argue with me over it. I know you're not going to, but someone's going to argue that. And yeah, you can, if you catch a legal fish and you want to keep it. I'm not stomping on that. I'm not trying to say you can't do that. But if you think about it, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, right?
I think that whole argument, the proof is in the pudding with the striper fishing, because they turn the striper fishing into this slot fish only, this 28 to 38 inch fish. You get one fish. And what was the striper fishing like now? You basically can't even drive your boat through Raritan Bay without running stripers over now. It's insane. Insanity.
What, 10 personal best striper last year.
And crazy. That, I believe, I'm not a biologist, but I believe that is from that slot fish, because all the big fish that have the offspring are now being released. They're not being killed.
Well, I mean...
And you could say whatever you want. Also, an 18-inch fluke tastes better than a 26-inch fluke, in my opinion. And
you're 100% right.
18-inch walleye is a lot better tasting than a 25-inch walleye. So I see no reason, if you're going out looking for those eaters, I mean, yeah, you're looking for that eater size, but if you're an avid outdoorsman like fishing, no, you shouldn't be killing the big ones.
No,
And that's why this program, you're being awarded, essentially. You're releasing a fairly big fish back because some of the sizes on this aren't easy. The white perch, I've tried for the past few years. It seems to be impossible. I know, Chris, you've been after the bowfin forever.
I can't even catch a bowfin yet. I mean, granted, I gotta
And
do.
snakehead isn't on the list. We're trying to get snakehead added to the skillful angler list, which it hasn't been yet. We don't know why. Why would that be?
You're now gonna have like 800 people email the show calling you a devil
Why? What'd I do?
for not damning the snakehead.
You know, I always did damn the
Suggesting-
snakehead.
even suggesting that the snakehead can be a game fish.
Well, the bowfin is on there. If the bowfin's on there, why is the snakehead not on there?
I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I think the snakehead should just be accepted as a game fish. It's here. It's
Listen,
not going anywhere. But
I
the
used to fight on Facebook all the time. The guys would put the pictures up with the snakehead and, oh, God. And then they're showing videos of them releasing it. And I'm commenting under the video, of course. You can't release that fish. It's illegal. You have to kill it. You know, and I used to get into arguments because down South Jersey, they fish from like their game fish. They're everywhere.
Well, exactly, because they've accepted it. And I'll tell you this story real quick.
Well, it should be accepted because now it's too late to end. So it has to be. I just don't understand if the bowfin's on there, why is the snakehead not? It makes it.
Compare the two just because they look similar. The bowfin is a native fish.
It is?
Yeah, the bowfin is a native fish to New Jersey. It's been around forever. I mean, it's like an ancient, it's like a prehistoric fish. Basically.
So why do they list it as an invasive species?
No, not the bowfin.
Yeah, the bowfin's on invasive species in the compendium.
No, what are you talking about?
I'm serious.
Go do a lap around your room and come back to the computer. You're wrong. What are you talking about? The bowfin, I'm looking at it right now. It's on the skillful angler list. It's a game fish. It's a native.
No, I agree. It is on the skillful angler list. I'm not arguing that, but it's on the New Jersey Fish and Wildlife website as a invasive species.
It's not. You're thinking of snakehead. They look similar. It's
No,
not.
I know the difference. I know. We'll get the answer to that, and we'll have that for the next episode. We'll have the answer, either who's right or who's wrong here, because I'm fairly sure that a bowfin's an invasive species to New Jersey.
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Possibly. That's why I'm not. Yeah, I could be. So far, because they did just update this for 2023. There's been no entries for saltwater, so not one saltwater species has been entered.
Not surprising. I mean, they're really only fishing for winter flounder right now.
Fishing season's just kicking out. It's just kicking off, but we do have some fish that did get entered. Yellow perch, Thomas Wyatt Jr., 14 and a half. I wonder if that came through the ice or Thomas Wyatt Jr., if you're listening to this, send us an email about that perch. It come through the ice or from open water?
No, there's no way it came through the ice because the only ice we had in New Jersey was like 4 days between Christmas and New Year's of 2022.
Well, he might have caught it on one of those 3 days. Oh, that's right. It was in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it must have come through open water. Thomas Wyatt Jr., drop us an email about this fish. Walleye. We already have a 24-inch walleye. Dan Pryor, 24-inch walleye. That's a good fish to be on the board with already.
See, now this one doesn't have a picture.
It doesn't. It doesn't have a picture.
So if this angler, Dan Pryor, gets word of this, like, we'd like to see a picture of it. He actually has two fish on here. He caught a 24-inch striped bass hybrid as well.
He has a hybrid striper, yeah, leader. You know, the sunfish, brook trout, a lot of them haven't been entered yet. Oh, whoa! Smallmouth bass, Christopher Pereira, 20.25 inches. Chris Pereira, if you're listening to the show, email us and let us know how you caught that bass. What's that?
Right here. I'm sitting right here, and I'll tell you right now.
Whoa!
When I caught this bass, I wish that I was ice fishing because it's freaking January.
How did you catch this bass? Was this an accident? Because you weren't smallmouth fishing.
Yes, I was, because
You went smallmouth fishing?
I go smallmouth fishing all the time.
Okay.
I don't go largemouth bass fishing that often.
All right, so let's hear this. How'd you catch this 20.25? That's a nice fish.
The water is freezing cold. I'm
What
freezing
month?
my balls off. I'm literally in my ice fishing gear.
What
In my
month?
14-foot Prince Craft. What?
What month?
It was January, isn't it? Doesn't it say on here?
It does not. Not on my phone.
I'm pretty.
No.
It does. When they release the records.
That's a nice picture. If you guys go on there, most of the names, if you put in NJ Skillful Angler Leaderboard, you could click names. Like I have, this is Thomas Wyatt Jr., if you could see it, holding the perch, the 14.5 inch perch up. That's leading. So you could see everything here on the website. There's the leading smallmouth from our co-star here, Chris Pereira.
And you know what? Lucky for you guys, I left the lure in the fish's mouth. So you get a little tidbit, you get a little tool, you get a little piece of information that you can use.
Well, Chris, now listen to this, Chris. 22.25 largemouth bass, Ryan Melia. Now, me and you tried we didn't try all last year, but we kind of we're hoping it just happened on accident that either one of us would get a Skillful Angler largemouth bass, and I didn't. I don't think you did either, right? And we never do.
No, I think I did.
You got a largemouth?
Yeah, I think so.
I got a largemouth.
Well, it was either the year before or last year. I got both.
I got one that broke the weight, but it did not make the length.
Yeah, I never weigh the fish in. You're gonna end up killing the fish. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no one does that. Crappie, 14.5 inch crappie is already on the board. Chain pickerel, 2 guys are tied. Edward Guth Jr. and Frank Rosinski, 27 inches. And then we have Dwayne Chapman. That's NJ Squatch, the same guy that fixes the waders. 14 and a quarter on a bullhead. Didn't he win bullhead last year too?
So this was, I'm trying to remember. This may have been, he was fishing with me. He's in my boat here, and it may have been the same day I caught that smallmouth, but it may have been the another trip. But obviously this was a surprise catch. We weren't fishing for bullheads. We were actually fishing for smallmouth again.
Yeah, but didn't Dwayne have the biggest bullhead last year too?
Oh, I don't know. You can look back. You can go on the Skillful Angler page and you can look back.
I'm just trying to figure out if Dwayne's some kind of a bullhead master or something. And then
I'm sure he'd come on the show and talk to you about bullhead catfish.
This crappie, 14.5 inches. I know Joe Bergen caught a 15 inch crappie today, but Joe Bergen does not participate in the Skillful Angler.
You're gonna call him out and
I'm calling you out, Joe Bergen. Joe Bergen, I am calling Joe Bergen out. You caught the Skillful Angler leading crappie today, and you let it go and didn't submit it. I'm calling you out live on the internet.
And you know what? In all seriousness, I hear all the time, like someone will be like, "Oh, I caught one bigger than that. I caught one bigger than that." Hey, maybe they did. Maybe they're just bullshitting you. But bring a tape measure with you fishing. That's all it is. You've got your phone in your pocket, so you always have a camera. Just bring a tape measure. You catch the fish, just lay it by the tape measure real quick, snap a picture. It takes literally 3 to 5 seconds. All right. Even if the fish flops a little bit, you got to put it back. It takes 6 or 7 seconds, whatever. And that's it. You actually don't even have to submit a picture of you holding the fish. That's why some of these pictures are blank, probably, or maybe they just didn't submit them. But the point is, like, participate. Like, it's fun. Like, you know, talk with your friends. I'm leading in this category. You're leading in that. Like, I'm going to try to beat you in that category. Like, it just adds another aspect to it. It's fun. I mean, try it out.
It does. And it also helps you kind of see what other people are catching from around the state and the length of them. It makes it really interesting.
And I think the most important part, like, they try to make it fun for you, like, people are participating. It's supposed to be fun. You get little prizes or whatever if you're into that. But the most important part of this, I believe, is the state is getting a lot of information from the submission.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's about. Data. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of data from it. And they're using that to benefit the stocking program. And the stocking I mean, you could say whatever you want about New Jersey. I mean, most things in New Jersey I'm not a fan of, but the fish stocking program that New Jersey Fish and Wildlife does, I mean, just the variety and, like, the success that they've had, you can't beat it.
Except for taking away our brook trout and brown trout.
Well, yeah, that was a disaster, but...
And they refused to give them back, which the Muskie Trout Hatchery has no problem growing these fish. That's a whole nother thing for another day, though, but...
Yeah, I
do agree. The stocking for, you would look at the state of New Jersey and think that it's just... Oh, it's New Jersey. There's not much fishing here, but there actually is, like, some serious fishing opportunities, especially North Jersey. South Jersey tends to have some good fish, but in much different species. But North Jersey, you could really put a nice variety of fish on the board, all kinds of different fish.
It's crazy. Like, look, you're not, like, New Jersey is not a world destination for any species of freshwater fish, right? But
oh, that's not true. That's not true. There is the shad run. The shad run.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Shad run is Jersey's pretty famous for the shad run.
I'll give it to you. It's fine. The shad
and the bluefish. Bluefish.
Said freshwater.
All right, fine.
Whatever. I'm not going into the saltwater argument. I'm just saying freshwater wise.
We have a shad run.
Yeah, okay. Tell me who's traveling here from which part of the country to participate in the shad run.
Dwayne goes.
Dwayne drives 30 minutes down the road to go shad fishing.
Yeah, he's the only one I know. I don't know. What Andrew Hunter Yutko, he goes.
He's also, I said a world destination. I'm talking about people are not.
Oh, no, it's not a world destination.
But where else can you do the shad run?
You could do it from the same river on the Pennsylvania side.
Okay, this conversation about shad is over.
I think we got our point across on what the podcast is going to be, and next week we'll have something different for you. Hopefully, maybe we'll have another guest, or we'll be talking about... I know this weekend, I think Chris, he's been sitting home. I've kind of been sitting home, but I think this weekend I'll probably be out somewhere. I'm sure he's going to be out somewhere.
Just been bitching and moaning that I didn't get to ice fish this year. I mean, I took 4 trips 5 hours north to upstate New York just so I can ice fish a couple of weekends, because I'm just so disgusted that I didn't get to ice fish. Just a couple of weeks is too much to ask.
I know. Well, and I see in the forecast already that the weather doesn't look good for Saturday, but this weekend's the saltwater fishing expo in Edison. So if you have nothing to do Saturday and you're just stuck in the house with bad weather, You could hit the Expo Center in Edison, go to the saltwater fishing show.
The great thing about New Jersey is there's always something you could do. You might suffer a little bit for it, but you always have a chance, right? I mean, it's windy, it's cold, it's raining. You could throw on some rain gear as long as the stream didn't come up too much or something. Your favorite stream, you could go trout fishing.
Absolutely. It's just this is a tough time of year. Everything's in a transitional phase. The lakes are turning over.
Well, chances are you're going to suffer a little bit to catch some fish, but there's always something
You're
available.
always going to suffer. It's either going to be suffering or it's going to cost me money. Like either I'm going to freeze to death or something on the boat that's expensive is going to break. One of those two things, but then I'll catch something nice eventually.
Speaking about things breaking on the boat, you know, you think we should bring Dwayne NJ Squatch onto the show, or is he going to break something?
I don't know. The whole podcast could go falling apart.
Some say he's cursed. I don't know.
I have heard he's cursed, and he has been on my boat when my impeller's completely gone out and my motor stopped running, and I've never had any engine trouble. So there is something.
He's broken.
There's more to the story with him. Let's not even talk
so I'll
about
tell you what. I don't think you can get him on the show. I think he's going to blow you off. I will give you $10 if you can get him on the show next week.
I don't really want $10. I don't really want him on the show at all. I don't want to even talk about his existence. NJ Squatch, if you're friends with him, just delete him. And I think that's going to pretty much be it for this week.
All right.
Next week we'll be back and we will be letting you have updates of what we did, what we fished for. Don't forget the email. It's njmultispecies@gmail.com. If you have any comment, want to come on the show, want to say something, want to just leave us an email, want to ask a question, whatever. And then we have all of we're getting all the social media going. It's at Multispecies. There's an Instagram. Thank you. That was the producer Deuce. He just sits. He's in the window behind me.
He's whispering. He's whispering in Joe's ear. No one can hear him except.
So because I'm new to podcasting right now, the producer Deuce is speaking to me, and you guys can't hear him, but I can. And I did not know that. So now it seems like I'm an insane person talking to myself. But this is how the show is going to be. And so our new social media accounts are up at NJ Multispecies. That's the Twitter, the TikTok, the Instagram. It's going to be everything. I don't think we have a Facebook page yet. We didn't update pictures yet. But at NJ Multispecies is going to be the call sign for all the social media. And njmultispecies@gmail.com. That's the contact for me or Chris. I'm Joe Santiago. He's Chris Pereira. If you want a friend request us on Facebook, send us a private message, whatever. It doesn't matter. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and I hope that you'll give us a chance and come back and see some of the information and stuff that we're going to provide as we come out of fishing limbo and come into the 2023 fishing season. Can you say fucking goodbye too?
Do you want me to talk? You cut me off like 8 times. Now I get to talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I was trying to say before is I want to see if there's a way that we could get that brown trout hanging on the wall behind you, get its mouth to move. So every time Deuce needs to talk to you, the mouth on the brown trout just starts moving.
I totally forgot that I can't believe I forgot that I could hear him and they can't. I'm not used to this tech stuff, but yeah, that was cool though. People are like talking to me while I'm. All
right, guys, we're gonna get Joe some help for next week, and
yes. I'm gonna go look for another exciting guest for next week.
That's your job.
Yes, and you find out how the fishing is.
Gladly, I'll be out there.
See you guys next week.
Yeah.